Alright guys, how's it going? I'm here to do a review on the Agile Renaissance 8. I've actually wanted one of these things for a pretty long time. Mostly just wanted a steel string acoustic, because believe it or not, I've never owned an acoustic guitar in my entire life. So this is actually the first one I've ever bought. I played a lot. Back when I used to work at the music store, I sold a lot of Taylors. It was a big Taylor store I worked at. So I always wanted an acoustic, but obviously working around Taylors, there was no way I was going to be able to afford one at that time. But anyway, so I saw when the Agile brand came out with their Renaissance 8-string series. I thought it was a pretty cool idea, so I figured why not go for it. I was waiting to see if someone did a review or really talked about it, and no one did, so finally I just said, "Beh, whatever." And I splurged, and I bought this guy. This is the Agile Renaissance 8. I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything, maybe NA for natural acoustic or whatever. This is the 27-inch scale model, so it's not the fan fret. Obviously, it also doesn't have any electronics in it because I preferred to put in my own electronics, which are on the way, because I figured it'd probably sound better than whatever cheap piezo they threw in here. But I guess we'll go over the specs of this guy first. Like I said, it's 27-inch scale. It's a solid Sitka spruce top. The back sides, neck, everything are all mahogany. Which it looks pretty decent at first glance. It's got an ebony fretboard on it. My biggest gripe is the string set they send it with. It's a 12 to 78, I think is what it was. Which I thought would be okay, but the low end on it's really floppy. And then it's got Wilkinson tuning machines on it, actually, which are surprisingly good. Those are probably personally the thing I was most impressed with on the guitar was the actual quality of the tuning machines that they used. So I guess first things first, playability. Like I said, I probably had this for like 2 weeks, and I wanted to wait till I really had a handle on it and played it a lot and really put it through the ringer before I actually spoke on it. It sounds surprisingly good. Especially the 6-string, actually even the 7-string range. The whole thing sounds it's a really full sounding, beautiful guitar. The 8-string, again, and I'm assuming this is just chalked up to the fact that it should be a thicker string on the low end. But when you play, it really doesn't ring out. It kind of loses a lot of the low end in the guitar. I don't know if it's because there's not enough tension on it, or from, the actual guitar's construction, which I'm going to find out because I'm going to get a heavier set of strings to throw on this thing, even though I really just want a heavier F sharp. But the guitar itself sounds very good. The 8-string thing did kind of let me down because I started playing and writing on it, and you just can't really hear it half the time. And when you do hear it, it just sounds like a lot of buzzing. The string's just flapping against everything, which is really annoying. But besides that, pretty decent. The inlay work on it was surprisingly nice. All the binding around the sound hole, around the actual body of the guitar, all is really well made. The logo looks good. It's not cheap anything. There are a couple spots, which it's hard to get with a camera, so I'll just have to tell you about them. There are obviously a couple spots, which you expect with any inexpensive guitar, where there's kind of a mess up. Like the binding right here going from the fretboard to the neck joint kind of area. There's a nasty little, I don't know what the hell it is. Looks like somebody chipped up glue in there or something, so that didn't look good, and they just kind of went over it. Whatever. The other side on the neck joint where the fretboard actually connects right at the point with the body, there's a little chip that it looks like somebody chipped the wood, and then again, we're just like, whatever. And there's little clumps of glue on the heel. But besides that, it's surprisingly well made, especially for the price paid for it. I think I bought this, like I said, like 2-3 weeks ago. They actually had a sale on this specific model where it was like $359. So I got it with the case, which is a really high quality case. I was surprised. With the case, I think everything counted like $450, something like that. Which, if you do play a lot of 8-string, then it's kind of a no-brainer. Especially when people are spending, a couple $1,000s on a guitar. It's nice to have one of these because you can take it around with you. I've already gotten my money's worth out of it because at my day job, one of the boats that I run, we park the boat up on a beach and people go hang out on the beach for like an hour. I brought this every day and I play it while I'm sitting there and I get to practice guitar while I get paid for it, which is awesome. So it's really convenient to have an acoustic 8-string. You can really practice and write and stuff on it wherever you go. You don't need an amp, obviously. My biggest gripe about this guitar when I got it, the action was like 10 feet high. Like I could barely even play it. And I mean, I use relatively heavy strings. I used to use, was it like 12 to 85s? I think I've dropped it down to like 10 to 82s, something like that. And on acoustics, I know they use heavier strings. But I've always enjoyed higher tension. Like my Oakland Axe Factory Falcon is a 28-inch scale, so it's even got a little more tension to it. And this it wasn't even the tension fact. The tension on it's good. The action was just so high I could barely play it, which was really annoying. It definitely needed some work. I didn't even get to play it when I got it. I immediately had to take the thing apart. And when I took it apart, one of the saddles, or one of the bridge pins was already broken. So that was a big letdown. And then when I pulled the actual saddle out, there was a huge shim, like an obnoxiously large shim. I just took the shim out and put the saddle back down, and it's still pretty high. But I'm scared to shave it down anymore until I get the thicker strings, because I'm scared it's going to buzz because the strings will vibrate too much. It doesn't sound that bad if playing with your hand or with your finger, but when you use a pick, you can really hear it. But all in all, I got to give it to him. Agile really knocked it out of the park. If you think about what you're paying for, you're getting an 8-string steel string acoustic guitar that's fully functional. I mean, obviously it needs a little bit of work right out the box, but any $300 guitar is going to. For what it is, it's a really good guitar, and there's gonna be a lot of videos coming out with this guy. And so yeah, if anyone's thinking about it, if you're on the fence about getting one of these, if you've got the means, it's not going to break the bank to buy a couple $100 guitar, and you've really been wanting one, go for it. It's worth it, because it's all the problems are very easily fixable. And nothing has really jumped out at me besides the action thing, which again was easily fixable. I'm gonna have to get some new bridge pins for it, but I was probably gonna do that anyway. Get some like ebony ones or something. The bridge, I mean, the thing about the bridge is kind of a cheaper actual bridge on it. You can't really see, but it's got the little plastic pins that go through, as opposed to just being glued down. But you've also got so much tension, you probably need something else to hold the bridge down, as opposed to just gluing a nice bridge and setting it into the body. But yeah, besides that, it's a good guitar. So anyone that's interested in one, I would definitely suggest going out for it. Get it. It's worth it. And yeah, thank you guys very much for checking it out. Hope some of you guys got something out of this. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on here, on my Facebook, on any of the social media stuff surrounding my face. And thank you very much for checking out. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming out pretty soon. I know I say that all the time, but I'm always working on new stuff with new people. And just keep an eye out. I got some pretty cool stuff coming. But thank you guys again. Have a great day, and I will see you later.